The circular by the Kenya National Examination Council, Acting Chief Executive Mercy Karogo, directing that all schools presenting candidates for the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education and Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education must have a minimum of 40 candidates in order to qualify as examination centers, has sent shockwaves in the education sector, with private schools reading malice in the move.
Why do you have to do something and we are there without consultation? We would have been consulted or been informed in a year's time, this is what's going to happen. Because we can now read malice. We can read malice actually in this. Because as you've mentioned, the private schools, unlike the public schools, depend on the goodwill from the parents. The moment parents realize that their learners or their children who are in a specific school are now being put in another school to do the exam, and the parents were not aware, they'll also not take it kindly.
The circular dated June 11th and addressed to all head teachers of primary schools and principals of secondary schools for both public and private, and copied to all sub-county directors of education, directs that all head teachers of primary schools and principals of secondary schools from both public and private schools with less than 40 candidates will be hosted by an examination center with more than 40 candidates during the 2021 KCPE and KCSE examinations. The NEC circular further directs that the host school should be located within the sub-county where the hosted schools are, and that both the host school and the hosted school should be served from one distribution point. But Kenya Private Schools Association is not pleased. Chief Executive Officer Peter Ndoro has raised concerns over the manner the decision was made without consulting the key education stakeholders. According to the circular, the host head teacher and principal will be the only authorized officer to collect examination materials from the container, coordinate the conduct and return the candidates' answer scripts to the container during each day of the examination. The move by the NEC comes amidst the 2021 KCPE and KCSE examination registration, which has been ongoing since June 2nd and is expected to run through July 31st, 2021. Private school head teachers who spoke in confidence are worried of losing students should parents realize that they do not have the 40 candidates as required by NEC.
If I'm a private school investor and I'm taking my learners to another school, very probably those children will also now start pulling the others to that school, meaning that my business will be destabilized, which is not right. NEC should revoke that circular as much as possible, so that if they want to maybe even to adjust, we can sit. They can call us for a forum.
Many private schools have had a candidate of between 14 to 30 students, with those below the requisite number being hosted by their neighbors. The latest move, however, leaves a majority of the private schools staring at possible closure. Shadrach Miti, KTN News.